Action News continues now with Dave Frankel, Rick Williams, and Monica Malpass.
Good morning again. It is 6 o'clock on this Tuesday, December 19th, and we are following the approach of a major winter storm.
The storm may already be responsible for a messy accident at the Walt Whitman Bridge. We'll have that story. We'll also have all you need to know before you head out this morning.
And for us this morning, let's find out what AccuWeather has in store for us at this hour. Let's go back outside to Dave Frankel for the latest. Good morning again, David.
Good morning again, Rick. And AccuWeather has some fairly bad news as far as bad weather is concerned. You may have expected to see snow this morning. What you're seeing is some sleet. But hang on, the snow's coming. We'll have plenty of everything before all is said and done. Right now what we have is a mixture of rain in some spots, ice in other spots. We're seeing sleet here on City Line Avenue, and snow the further north you get, 32 degrees right at the freezing mark. This morning, ice takes over, snow in the middle there, and rain diminishing, 32 degrees. Temperatures staying steady this afternoon. Temperatures don't move, 32 degrees. Snow will continue now to dominate with some ice, and now rain becomes even less important, except for right along the shore. By tonight, it looks like snow just about everywhere, maybe a little leftover ice down the shore, but even they will go over to snow and see a small accumulation. 30 degrees is the overnight low temperature, and tomorrow we'll see snow around the backside of this storm early in the morning. Then it turns windy and cold. 30 degrees is the high temperature tomorrow. We could have some nasty blowing and drifting snow tomorrow. We'll go over the accumulations and when you might see the change to snow in your neighborhood, as well as the 5-day in just a few minutes. Rick and Monica.
All right, thank you, David. Well, a wave of snow is beginning to hit the Delaware Valley as the storm heads east. The streets of Amblin and Montgomery County were covered with snow early this morning, while rain was still falling in other areas. Meantime, in East Whiteland Township, PennDOT crews were busy shoveling some of the 66,000 tons of road salt that they have ready. The roads are slippery in some spots, as we mentioned. Others are okay, but here it was not okay. 2 cars collided on the Walt Whitman Bridge, slightly injuring a man. Road crews have also been preparing for the storm for about 12 hours now. Trucks have been out since early this morning.
We have a series of live reports this morning to give you a better idea of what happened overnight and what's just around the corner for you. Let's go live on the action cam to reporter Cecily Tynan. She is in Plymouth meeting, keeping an eye on traffic. Good morning again, Cecily.
Well, good morning, Rick. Right now, traffic is going okay. A lot more cars on the roadways right now than about an hour ago. Now, about an hour and a half ago, it was coming down as rain. Then it changed to sleet. Right now, we have a mixture of snow and sleet. The winds are beginning to blow, and it certainly feels very cold outside. Let's take a look at what's accumulating on the roadways, and actually we have some pretty impressive stuff here. If you look at Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, this is what was happening early this morning. Some of the snow already accumulating on the roads, and that's just a little farther north from where we are. So although right now we have some sleet and snow in some parts of the Delaware Valley, it's coming down just as snow this morning. Now here where we are is, as I mentioned, a combination of sleet and snow. Down here on the roads, very icy right now. This is what we've got. This is what's accumulating. Now, of course, some of the roads have been treated. We're right by where the salt trucks have been loaded up, but you still want to take it very slowly this morning. Take it easy, because this is what's happening on the roads that aren't treated. Very slippery, and unlike snow, a lot of times your car, especially if you have a four-wheel drive, can get traction. On this, which is a combination of the sleet and the ice and the snow, it's really tough to get traction. So you do want to take it very slowly this morning, and even walking can be kind of tough here in Plymouth meeting. I'm Cecily Tynan reporting live on the action cam from Plymouth meeting. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Cecily. And just a couple of minutes ago at 6 a.m., the city of Philadelphia enacted its snow emergency route program. Now, that program allows the city to begin enforcing special routes to keep the most heavily traveled streets like Broad Street clear. City Managing Director Joe Sertain explains what will happen to motorists who do not comply with this emergency program, which, as we said, is now in effect.
On snow emergency routes will be then eligible for a $35 ticket as well as a $50 tow fee in order to clear these routes and to make sure that there's compliance with the emergency declaration.
Well, you are allowed to drive on those routes. You're not allowed to park on them, and if you do, you'll be towed and fined. You can drive on the routes assuming that your vehicle can make it through. Live on the action cam now in Roxborough, this is Ridge Avenue and Walnut Lane. You can see snow is falling here, and there is some snow sticking to the roads. If you need any more information about which particular roadways in the city are snow emergency routes, the number's on your screen. It is 686-SNOW, 686-SNOW. You can also call that same number if your car gets towed.
All right, another story we're following for you.
Rain this morning, changing over to freezing rain this afternoon. Off to the west in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we are looking at freezing rain and sleet right now, but that's changing over to snow. Rain snow line has been up around I-80, but that'll be descending southward as the day wears on. Some pretty heavy snows in Cleveland. There'll be about 3 or 4 inches there. Columbus, rain right now. That'll be changing over to freezing rain this morning, and then probably over to snow by later on this afternoon. So it's going to be a piling up there around the capital city with about 3 to 6 inches of snow coming in late this afternoon and early this evening. And off to the west, we have icing. That's a real big problem across central Indiana. Indianapolis down to St. Louis. It's going to be an icy roadway down I-70 there. But in St. Louis, precipitation just now changing over to sleet and snow. We should get about 3 to 4 inches. We should be all snow by mid-morning in St. Louis. So it's a real mess in the Midwest today. And in the Northeast, it's just starting to crank up. Could be looking at 1 to 2 feet of snow from northeast Pennsylvania into New England. And after that, it could get even worse as the winds crank in. So this is a huge storm, and this could be the worst one of the year in the Northeast. If you're dreaming of a white Christmas, looks like your dreams will be coming true in the Big Apple. You haven't had a white Christmas since 1983. Now let's talk about your forecast, and here's Vivian.
This morning's weather is sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
Well, thank you, Mark. In our forecast center, I'll tell you what, that major storm system, lightning developing with some of these storms over the panhandle of Florida, they have been quite dangerous so far, so we do want you to be very, very careful out and about this morning on Interstate 10, right across the panhandle. Again, lightning, hail, very gusty winds, and torrential downpours associated with these storms. So a very, very rough start to this Tuesday over the southeast, let alone the northeast, where we have the potential for some very, very heavy snows. Here's your main area of low pressure and the energy with it. Now it'll continue to move off to the northeast. Now what's going to happen is we think an area of low pressure will develop off the mid-Atlantic coast, and we'll kind of get the transfer of energy from this area of low pressure to the one off the New England coast, and that's what's going to create enough moisture and cold air for the very, very heavy snows. New York City, even over the Susquehanna River Valley, we wake up to freezing rain right now in Philadelphia, but that will change over. Heavy snows in the forecast. We have winter storm warnings for the Susquehanna River Valley as well as the western Catskills, most of northern New Jersey, and keep in mind the snows will be piling up in New York City, and even later tonight the snows will be moving into Boston. You know, we'll keep you posted throughout the day.
This is number 5.
Florida here and southern Georgia, we have freezing rain, and for some reason freezing rain, the reflectivity is very good on radar. So right in here we talk about freezing rain where you see the yellows and the darker greens, but right here where you see the yellows and the darker green, that indicates the thunderstorm activity. So it's very, very active so far this morning. Now wintry travel will be widespread. We talk about snow and freezing rain over a good part of the Ohio Valley into Pennsylvania, New York City, and that same storm system has a potential to bring some severe weather over parts of the southeast.
A typical car insurance agent.
charter schools will be a reality in the Garden State as early as next have submitted. The compromise component came from a veto via Governor Whitman, who said it was the best way to get something down in writing since time was running out in the legislative session. The Princeton Regional Health Commission approved a law that prohibits
and get 1/3 off all Bird's Eye.
Says it will continue to snow throughout the day. 7 to 8 inches is possible by the evening commute tonight. The high today will only be 25. Near blizzard conditions this evening with snow mixed with wind and sleet and some freezing rain, a low of 20. Frank says it's going to end tomorrow at some point, probably in the morning, and we'll have a partly sunny day with a high of 30 degrees.
From ABC News, good morning. I'm Jim Hickey. It all depends.